Who's the greatest Kansas City Chief of all time? That question has become one of the hottest debates in football, and we're about to rank the top 10 legends who built this dynasty. When viewers see this, they're asking, does Mahomes already top the list? Where does Derek Thomas rank? Did the old school legends make the cut? Here's the truth. These 10 players didn't just wear red and gold. They created a winning culture, delivered championships, and turned Kansas City into one of the NFL's premier franchises. This isn't just a ranking, this is the definitive list of the greatest players in Chiefs history. Number 10, Priest Holmes, the most dominant 3-year stretch by any running back in franchise history. 3 Pro Bowl selections, 3 first-team All-Pro honors, 6,070 rushing yards, and 76 rushing touchdowns with Kansas City. Holmes arrived from Baltimore in 2001 and immediately transformed the Chiefs' offense. From 2001 to 2003, he averaged 1,530 rushing yards and 19 rushing touchdowns per season. That's elite, sustained dominance. In 2003, Holmes set an NFL record with 27 rushing touchdowns. That record stood until Lanier Tomlinson broke it 3 years later. Holmes also caught 245 passes for 2,377 yards with the Chiefs, showing his versatility in the passing game. A spine injury in 2006 cut his career short, but those 3 elite seasons were enough to cement his legacy. Holmes proved that running backs can still dominate in the modern NFL if they're talented enough. But dominating for 3 years is impressive. What if you dominated for over a decade while redefining your position? Number 9, Willie Lanier, Contact, the first African-American middle linebacker to make the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 8 Pro Bowl selections, 3 first-team All-Pro honors, Super Bowl IV champion. Lanier played 11 seasons with the Chiefs from 1967 to 1977, anchoring one of the greatest defenses in football. He recorded 27 interceptions and 18 fumble recoveries, elite playmaking from the linebacker position. Lanier was the heart of the Chiefs' Super Bowl IV championship defense that dominated the Minnesota Vikings. At 6'1" and 245 pounds, Lanier combined size, speed, and intelligence to control the middle of the field. He made the Hall of Fame in 1986 and was named to the NFL's 75th anniversary all-time team. Lanier's number 63 jersey is honored by the franchise, and he remains one of the greatest linebackers in NFL history. Speaking of legendary linebackers, our next player was even more versatile and dominant. Number 8, Bobby Bell, the most athletic linebacker of his generation. 9 Pro Bowl selections, 6 first-team All-Pro honors, Super Bowl IV champion, AFL champion in 1966 and 1969. Bell played 12 seasons with the Chiefs from 1963 to 1974, starting every single game. He had 26 interceptions and 6 defensive touchdowns, incredible playmaking for a linebacker. At 6'4" and 225 pounds with 4.5 speed, Bell was ahead of his time physically. Modern linebackers are built like Bell was in the 1960s. He could rush the passer, cover receivers, stop the run, and return interceptions. Bell did everything at an elite level. The Chiefs made him defensive coordinator before he even retired, showing how much they valued his football intelligence. Bell made the Hall of Fame in 1983 and was named to multiple all-time teams. His versatility and athleticism set the standard for modern linebackers who need to do everything. But versatile linebackers from the 1960s are legendary. What about offensive linemen who never missed a game for 14 straight years? Number 7, Will Shields, the most durable offensive lineman in NFL history. 12 Pro Bowl selections, 2 first-team All-Pro honors, named to the NFL 2000 All-Decade Team. Shields played 14 seasons with Kansas City from 1993 to 2006. He started 223 of 224 games and never missed a single game due to injury. Think about that. 14 seasons at offensive guard, one of the most punishing positions in football, and he never missed a game. Shields was the anchor of Kansas City's offensive line during the Priest Holmes and Trent Green era. He won the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award in 2003 for his community service and leadership. The Chiefs inducted him into their Ring of Honor, and he made the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2015. Shields proved that consistency and durability matter as much as peak performance. But consistency over 14 years is impressive. What about dominating for 13 years while revolutionizing the defensive tackle position and never missing a game? Number 6, Buck Buchanan, the original dominant defensive tackle who never missed a game. 8 Pro Bowl selections, 4 first-team All-Pro honors from 1966 to 1969, Super Bowl IV champion. Buchanan was the first overall pick in the 1963 AFL Draft, the first African-American ever selected first overall. At 6'7" and 274 pounds, Buchanan was massive for his era and used his size to dominate offensive lines. He played 182 games over 13 seasons and started every single regular season game from 1964 to 1973. That durability is legendary. Buchanan recorded 70.5 career sacks and was the anchor of Kansas City's championship defenses. In Super Bowl IV, he had 1 sack and 5 tackles in the Chiefs' victory over Minnesota. The Chiefs inducted him into their Ring of Honor, and he made the Hall of Fame in 1990. Buchanan set the standard for defensive tackles and proved that big men could dominate for over a decade. Speaking of dominating, our next player delivered the franchise's first championship and defined what it meant to be a Chiefs quarterback. Number 5, Len Dawson, the original franchise quarterback who delivered Kansas City its first championship. 7 Pro Bowl selections, 1 first-team All-Pro, Super Bowl IV champion and MVP, AFL MVP in 1962. Dawson played 14 seasons with the Chiefs from 1962 to 1975, throwing for 28,507 yards and 237 touchdowns. He led the league in completion percentage 8 times, elite accuracy for his era. Dawson led Kansas City to 3 AFL championships and delivered the franchise's only pre-Holmes Super Bowl in 1970. His Super Bowl IV performance against Minnesota was masterful, 12 of 17 passing for 142 yards and 1 touchdown with 0 turnovers. Dawson made the Hall of Fame in 1987 and had his number 16 jersey retired by the franchise. For 5 decades, Dawson was the greatest quarterback in Chiefs history. That changed in 2017. Speaking of changing the game, our next player revolutionized the tight end position and set records that still stand today. Number 4, Tony Gonzalez, the tight end who changed how NFL offenses used the position. 10 Pro Bowl selections with Kansas City, 5 first-team All-Pro honors with the Chiefs, 916 catches for 10,940 yards and 76 touchdowns in Kansas City. Gonzalez played 12 seasons with the Chiefs from 1997 to 2008 before finishing his career in Atlanta. He led the NFL with 102 receptions in 2004, unprecedented production for a tight end. Gonzalez had 4 1,000-yard receiving seasons with Kansas City, showing sustained excellence. He retired as the all-time leader in receptions, 1,325, and receiving yards, 15,127, by a tight end. Gonzalez made the Hall of Fame in 2019 on his first ballot, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest ever. The Chiefs honored his number 88 jersey, and he remains the standard for tight end excellence. But Gonzalez left Kansas City before winning a championship. Our top 3 all have rings, dominated their eras, and defined what it means to be a Kansas City Chief. Number 3, Travis Kelce, the most accomplished tight end in Kansas City Chiefs history. 9 Pro Bowl selections, 4 first-team All-Pro honors, 3 Super Bowl championships, over 11,328 receiving yards, and 74 touchdowns with Kansas City. Kelce has 9 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, an unprecedented streak for any tight end ever. His connection with Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback-tight end duo in franchise history. Kelce has the most playoff receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns in NFL history. He dominates in January. In Super Bowl 57 against Philadelphia, Kelce caught 6 passes for 81 yards and a touchdown. He shows up in big games. Kelce revolutionized the tight end position by showing that elite receiving matters more than blocking. At 35 years old, Kelce is still producing at an elite level and adding to his legacy. When he retires, Kelce will be remembered as one of the 3 greatest tight ends in NFL history, alongside Gonzalez and Rob Gronkowski. But even Kelce's 3 championships and playoff dominance don't match the sheer terror our next player brought to opposing offenses for 11 legendary seasons. Number 2, Derek Thomas, the greatest pass rusher in Kansas City Chiefs history and one of the most dominant defensive players ever. 9 Pro Bowl selections, 2 first-team All-Pro honors, Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1989. 126.5 career sacks is the franchise record by 37 sacks over second place. Nobody else is even close. Thomas's 1990 season was legendary, 20 sacks, including an NFL record 7 sacks in a single game against Seattle. The single-game record of 7 sacks still stands 35 years later. Nobody has matched it. Thomas had 41 forced fumbles in his career, another franchise record that shows his game-changing ability. He won the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award in 1993 for his community service. Thomas's career was tragically cut short when he died from injuries sustained in a car accident in January 2000 at age 33. The Chiefs retired his number 58 jersey, and he made the Hall of Fame in 2009. Thomas was the heart and soul of Kansas City's defense for over a decade. His impact transcended statistics. He was the most feared defender in franchise history and changed games with his relentless pass rush. But even Thomas's legendary career doesn't match the player at number 1. This player has already rewritten every record and delivered 3 championships before age 30. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes, the greatest Kansas City Chief of all time. The best quarterback in the NFL today. 6 Pro Bowl selections, 2 first-team All-Pro honors, 2 regular season MVP awards, 3 Super Bowl championships, 3 Super Bowl MVP awards, over 34,450 passing yards, 262 touchdowns, 66.6% completion percentage in just 7 seasons as a starter. Mahomes averages 287 passing yards per game, the highest average in NFL history. His 103.5 career passer rating is the second highest all-time among quarterbacks with at least 1,500 attempts. Mahomes has 41 playoff touchdown passes and 5,135 playoff passing yards, both franchise records. In the playoffs, Mahomes has a 17-3 record with 3 Super Bowl victories. That's dynasty-level success. His 2018 MVP season was one of the greatest ever. 5,097 passing yards and 50 touchdowns. Mahomes throws no-look passes, sidearm throws, and left-handed completions. He makes the impossible look routine. At 29 years old, Mahomes has already accomplished more than most quarterbacks do in 15-year careers. He's on pace to become the greatest quarterback in NFL history if he maintains this level for another decade. The Chiefs went from playoff disappointments to a dynasty the moment Mahomes became the Chiefs' starter. 3 Super Bowls in 7 seasons tie him for the second most Super Bowl MVPs in history with Joe Montana. Mahomes is the face of the NFL, the greatest player in Kansas City Chiefs history, and potentially the greatest quarterback ever when his career ends. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest Kansas City Chief of all time. No debate, no one else has dominated like this so quickly. The GOAT debate. Why is Patrick Mahomes already number 1 over Derek Thomas and Len Dawson? Championships. Mahomes has 3 Super Bowl rings in 7 seasons. Dawson had 1, Thomas had 0. Dominance. Mahomes averages 287 yards per game, the highest ever. He's rewriting the record books. Impact. The Chiefs were good before Mahomes. With him, they're a dynasty. That transformation is instant greatness. The argument for Derek Thomas is 126.5 sacks, 7 sacks in 1 game, and being the most dominant defensive player in franchise history. But Mahomes' offensive impact changes games more than Thomas's defensive dominance did. Plus, Mahomes has 3 championships. The argument for Len Dawson is that he was the original franchise quarterback who delivered the first championship. But Mahomes has 3 championships already and isn't even 30 years old yet. Travis Kelce is the most accomplished tight end in franchise history with 3 rings and elite production. Tony Gonzalez revolutionized the tight end position, but never won a championship in Kansas City. Buck Buchanan was the original dominant defensive lineman who never missed a game. Len Dawson delivered the franchise's first championship and defined Chiefs quarterback play. Will Shields never missed a game in 14 seasons. Bobby Bell was the most versatile linebacker ever. Willie Lanier was the first African-American middle linebacker in the Hall of Fame. Priest Holmes had the most dominant 3-year peak by any Chiefs running back. Mahomes' combination of championships, individual dominance, and cultural impact separates him from everyone else. Why these 10? Why these 10 Chiefs over everyone else? Jamal Charles rushed for over 7,500 yards with Kansas City, but doesn't crack the top 10 all time. Tamba Hali had 89.5 sacks, but he can't match Derek Thomas's impact. Tyreek Hill was incredible, but he only played 6 seasons in Kansas City before leaving for Miami. Dwayne Bowe had over 7,000 receiving yards, but he doesn't match Gonzalez or Kelce's impact. Neil Smith was a great pass rusher, but he didn't reach Thomas's level. Otis Taylor was a great receiver in the 1960s and 70s, but the list needs modern stars too. Trent Green was solid, but not elite enough for the top 10 all time. These 10 players we chose combined championships, individual dominance, and franchise-defining impact. Patrick Mahomes is the greatest Chief ever and potentially the GOAT quarterback. Derek Thomas was the most feared pass rusher in franchise history. Travis Kelce is the most accomplished tight end in Chiefs history. Tony Gonzalez revolutionized the tight end position. Len Dawson delivered the franchise's first championship. Buck Buchanan was the original dominant defensive lineman. Will Shields never missed a game in 14 seasons. Bobby Bell was the most versatile linebacker ever. Willie Lanier was a Hall of Fame middle linebacker. Priest Holmes had the greatest 3-year peak in franchise history. The evolution of the Chiefs. Looking at this list shows how the Chiefs franchise evolved. Len Dawson built the championship foundation in the 1960s and 70s with the Super Bowl IV title. Buck Buchanan, Bobby Bell, and Willie Lanier created one of the greatest defenses ever. Derek Thomas was the most feared pass rusher of the 1990s. Will Shields anchored offensive lines in the 1990s and 2000s. Tony Gonzalez revolutionized how tight ends were used in offenses. Priest Holmes showed that running backs can still dominate in the passing era. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce created the modern dynasty. The Chiefs went from AFL champions to NFL disappointments to modern dynasty. These 10 players represent the peaks of each era in franchise history. These 10 players represent the absolute peak of Chiefs football. They won championships, dominated their positions, and turned Kansas City into an NFL powerhouse. Debates about rankings will never end. Chiefs fans will always argue about placement and snubs. That's what makes these conversations great. There's no perfect answer. But if you're starting a franchise and need one player to build around, Patrick Mahomes is the answer. His talent, his championships, his leadership, nobody in Chiefs history comes close. Thanks for watching this journey through Kansas City's greatest players. Hit subscribe for more content celebrating NFL legends. And remember, the Mahomes era is still being written. We're watching history happen in real time. Chiefs Kingdom forever.